Want a sword? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael. We made these videos probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle. You know you're capable of more and you need that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and the real secret to succeeding in anything you do. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Bring value first.
This is the secret to getting ahead in business and in life. Bring value first. You want somebody to notice you? Bring value first. You want somebody to pay attention to you? Bring value first. You want somebody to buy from you, to hook you up with a partner, to talk about you in a speech on stage? Like, you want people to do stuff for you? Bring value first. Don't go to them asking for help first. Go to them with value first so that they're stumbling all over themselves to try to find a way to help you out too. Bring value first. Most people will never figure this out. Most people will constantly be begging other people, be tweeting at them and DMing them and saying, please help me, please help me, please help. And I feel so bad. I feel frustrated, and I feel so bad for these people who are just asking for help because you know that they need help, but they're going about it all wrong. By spamming people and begging for help, you're not going to get it. Instead, focus your efforts. Like, you will never get it. You will never get it this way. You're not going to get to your outcome. You're not going to solve this problem by begging people. You'll get a little bit. Like, even beggars on the street get a little bit. You'll get a little bit, but you'll never get to where you want to go, ever, by begging. Instead, flip it and spend your time trying to figure out how you can bring value to other people first so that they can't wait to help you out too. I look at Instagram as an example. I can't tell you how many DMs I get from people who say, Evan, please shout me out. Evan, please talk about my product. Evan, please go to my profile and look at my video and then share it to your audience. Like, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Why would I do that? I don't even know who you are. Why would I do that? I had to make a story on my IG and save it just so that I can send it to everybody who asked that. And I get frustrated because I don't want you wasting time. For all the people who DM spam me, say, Evan, go check this out. Evan, sign up for our service. I DM them and say, John, this is not how you win, man. You are wasting your time. This is not, I want you to win. DM spamming people is not how you're going to win. Find a way to bring value first. That's how you win. That's how I respond to spammers on Instagram. Because I badly want you guys to win. And you just don't know, and you think that that's a path, and it seems like an easy path. Great, yes, it'd be awesome if Evan or somebody gave me a shout out and watched my thing and promoted it, but that's not how the process worked. Now, on the flip side, there's a lot of people in my audience who I know, who have given so much, who are commenting on every video, who are commenting on all of my live stuff, who are on my Instagram feed, who are on my Twitter feed, who are constantly engaged and constantly trying to help other people out. There are a lot of people who I've never met face to face, but are such amazing contributors to Believe Nation. And for those people, I would do almost anything for them within a reasonable scope. I would do almost anything for them because I love them, because of how much they've contributed to me. They don't even have to ask. If I saw them launching something, say, hey, can I help? Can I be a part of it? Can I be a testimonial for you? How can I help you? Because you've given me so much, because you've contributed so much. I want that to be you. I want that to be you. Find the people who you're trying to get in touch with. Find the people who, if they noticed you, if you got on their radar, if they talked about you, would make a huge difference for your company, and then figure out ways to bring value to them. And don't go ask them, say, hey, I want to bring value to you. That's not it. It's your job to figure out. It's your job to figure out how you can bring value. A lot of people come and say, hey, Evan, I want to work for you for free. I'll work you for free for 12 months and you can mentor me and you don't have to pay me for a year. That's not bringing value. Understand, if you're coming to somebody who's had success, it's still not value. You working for free is not enough because it's taking up the thing that I value most, which is time. So you going to whoever you look up to, if they're at a certain level, you go to Oprah and say, Oprah, hey, can I work for you for free? You're not even gonna get a response back because that's not enough value. You have to really figure out what they want, what they're looking for, what they're trying to do, and figure out an angle that you can help them with. One of the best ways to do this are around when somebody's launching something. If somebody's launching a new book, a new product, a new service, a new shoe, like they're launching something, they're in launch mode, they're out, they're doing interviews, they're trying to get their name out, they're trying to build awareness for that thing. That's when you want to go and help them. They're trying to distribute this new video that they've launched and they're so pumped for, this new book that they have that they're so pumped for. Like, help them. Help them distribute it. Help them get interviews. Get on their radar. Give reviews. Go to their trade show and help, set up the booth, and help talk to people. Like, help them in launch mode, because that's when they're most vulnerable. That's when they need the most help. And they're asking people, but they don't know who you are yet. That's your chance to make a really good impression. Help them when they're in launch mode. And so pay really close attention to what they're launching and get in there and be of assistance. The second thing is pay attention to where they're spending a lot of their time. So I would go to every social media channel that they're on, these people you want to get in touch with, and see where are they actually themselves engaging with people. Where are they themselves responding to comments? Where are they themselves posting content? Because they might be posting something on LinkedIn, but if they're not actually watching a comment feed, then your comments are getting lost. But if you see that they're engaging on Instagram, then go to Instagram and leave comments there. You want to be where they are. So use those two strategies to bring insane value to these people. And then that's how you win, because I want you spending your time on the things that will actually move the needle for you, so that you're not wasting your time every single day begging people and wondering why you're not having success. You're not having success. You're not getting attention from these people because you are not bringing them enough value. Figure that out and then you win. Good luck.
Rule number 2, grow and improve.
Self-improvement is the answer to whatever obstacle is staring you in the face right now. The only difference between you and greatness is the willingness to grow and improve. It's not talent, it's not smarts, it's the willingness to improve yourself. The difference between you and Tony Robbins is he has spent more time constantly improving himself than most people on the planet. Here's a guy who had multiple fathers growing up, had an abusive mother who at 17 he had to run away from home so he could become a janitor and never go to college. He then decided to be a success. He read 700 books in 7 years. He studied under mentors like Jim Rohn, and today he's the founder or owner of companies with over $6 billion in annual revenue. If Tony Robbins can go from being an abused janitor with no college education to being one of the most influential people in the world, why can't you? The difference is he made the investment to constantly improve himself, and you haven't yet at that level. So I look at my channel as an example, my YouTube channel, and I've learned so much over the past number of years in confidence, in growth, in abilities, in skills, by consuming the content, because I love the top 10 series and the Mentor Me series and the Espresso series. I make them for me and then I share them with you, and thankfully you guys like them too, and I can build a business off of it and keep pumping out more content. But it helps me. I've grown, I've learned. And one of the biggest moments that helped me realize how much I've learned is when I signed a 3-year deal with Sage. I was working with Stephen Kelly, who was the CEO, and every month we'd be on a call. We'd be doing a hangout on my YouTube channel, answering questions from people. And I was driving with my dad, and I remember him asking me, how do you get the confidence to be on a call with Stephen Kelly and be seen as his equal all the time? And he wasn't asking me to put me down. He was asking me in genuine awe of, he was so happy for me that I was playing a bigger game. And it dawned on me that he was right. The Evan of 5 years ago wouldn't have been able to do that. The Evan of 5 years ago would have felt less than. The Evan of 5 years ago would have said, there's no way I'm capable of doing that. And then when I'd signed the deal, I felt like, it's great. I love Stephen, he's amazing, but I feel like I'm hanging out with Oprah and Kanye and Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and these super successful people, and they're infiltrating my brain on a daily basis, right? A daily basis. 3 videos every single day on this channel. And so bit by bit, it pulls me up. Now I've recognized I still have a long way to go. I still have so much more to learn. I still need to believe in myself even more. And every time I consume more content, it allows me to grow my comfort zone a little bit more. And the funny thing is, all of these moments are little tiny incremental parts of your growth. I couldn't point you to one point in my past where I said, that was the moment that I changed. That was the moment that I had more confidence. But as I studied every day, I could look back 3 months, 6 months, a year and say, wow, I've really changed. I've really grown. I've really learned a lot. But in the daily, from today to yesterday, I'd say I didn't grow at all. And so sometimes on your journeys, you're trying to learn and get better. You may feel like the growth is really slow on a daily basis, but if you keep going, you keep investing, you keep learning, you keep seeking out mentors, you keep trying to get better and improve. Not every day will be amazing, but if you try every day to get better and learn, I can guarantee you that in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, when you look back of the person you've become compared to what you are right now, there'll be a big change. And that's because you continue to invest in yourself. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process to how to create a customized program for you so that you can become world-class at the thing that you want to be world-class at. Step 1, decide what you want to be world-class at. You could be world-class at a lot of things with enough energy, effort, wisdom, pouring in to you, practice, repetition, you can be world-class at something. But what in your core, what is the thing that you need to be world-class at? What is the burning desire in you that you say, I want to be among the best in the world at what? Fill that in. What do you want to be world-class at? Number 2, immerse yourself in that environment. The fastest way to learn a language, the fastest way to learn Japanese is not from a textbook, it's not from going to classes, it's to go to Japan. You need to immerse yourself in the environment. Whatever the thing is that you want to be great at, the more you are around it, people who are doing it, people who are speaking it, people who are living it, the more it will rub off onto you and the faster it will rub off onto you. Now, it can be a physical environment, or it could also be from the content that you're consuming. I get it a lot from my own YouTube videos because I feel like I'm around Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey every single day. And the more you immerse yourself in that environment, the more their mindset, the more their motivation, the more their confidence is going to stick with you to help you go be world-class at the thing that you want to be great at. And then step number 3 is practice every single day. You need to practice every single day. It's not enough just to be around it. You need to practice. You got to do. You want to be world-class at something, right? That requires daily dedication. The reason why I got better at making my content, my videos, is I've done 6,000 videos. 1,000 videos aren't even public on my channel. We've thrown away more videos than most people ever create on their channel. And it's not because I'm amazing. Go back. Like, I encourage you, go back and look at my first videos. I sucked. It was brutal. It's because I said I want to be great at this thing. And I surrounded myself with people who could help push me and I could learn from. And then I practice every single day. The reason why I pass people who I consider to be a lot better than me at this is because I put in more work. Because when people had a hard time finding time to make 1 video a week, I was doing 3 a day. And if you take that same approach, if you take that same mindset of I'm just going to outwork everybody around me, I'm going to outwork my competition, when they may have a hard time finding time to do that thing that they need to get better at once a week, and you're doing it 3 times a day, you will blow past people who are more naturally talented because you have put in the work to get good at your skill.
Rule number 3, don't quit.
You need to do things that make you proud of yourself. You need to do the difficult things. When it's hard and you do it and you try and you keep going, that's when you feel proud about yourself. When you quit early, even if everybody gives you a logical reason for doing it, say, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it, quit. You should quit. Take it easy. But you know deep down inside yourself, you can't quit. You have to do the work that makes you feel proud, because if you face difficulties and then quit, that's what you're teaching yourself. That's the story inside your head. And there's no way you're gonna go off and accomplish those big, bad, impossible dream goals of yours if you quit every time it gets hard. I had a guy come to my Columbus workshop and he had a goal to do 6 days a week cold showers. It was Friday night. Saturday night was his day off from cold showers. It was Friday night he comes to my workshop and he says, it's been winter here in Columbus. I'm at my girlfriend's house all day today. It's been freezing. I've been inside the house. It's been freezing all day. I didn't do my cold shower today. Evan, what should I do? Should I take my cold shower? I said, well, are you proud of the reason why not? Are you proud of the reason that you're in a cold house all day and so that's good justification for you? He said, no, I'm not proud of the reason. Great, then you have to do it. You have to go take your cold shower. And after the workshop, he got home at 11:30 at night and he took an Instagram video from the waist up, getting into the cold shower and freezing his face off. And then I said, you have to go off and do it again tomorrow too. Even though Saturday's your day off, you have to get up and do it again tomorrow, just to show yourself, just to prove to yourself what you're made of. When it's difficult and you try, that's when you win. That's when you actually feel good about yourself, when it's difficult and you keep going. Even if the results suck, even if past the 40%, your results are starting to decline. You feel great about yourself because you kept going. But if you quit as soon as it gets hard, that's what you're teaching yourself to do. And so I see entrepreneurs and leaders as trees. You're a tree. Your responsibility as a tree is to eat poison, carbon dioxide, right? You eat poison. You eat it, you grow from it, and then you spit out positivity and oxygen for the people around you, right? For yourself and the people around you. You grow from it. Your job is to eat adversity. Your job is to eat judgment. Your job is to eat difficulties. And you grow from it. And then you create opportunities and possibilities for yourself and the people around you. That's your job. And so the next time that you find yourself in a difficult situation, you want to quit, you want to give up, you're at that mark, your brain wants to quit on you, remind yourself, I'm a tree. I'm a tree. I'm going to grow from this. This is my chance to get better. This is my chance to eat it, to grow from it, and then create possibilities for other people. That's your job if you want to be an amazing leader and an amazing entrepreneur. And I'm cheering for you. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to build a habit. So I've created a special free program to help you where every day for 254 days, I will send you an email that has a link to an unlisted video that if you watch it will boost your confidence forward. The link to join for free is in the description below. Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
Successful people take responsibility for where they are in life.
One, to get a little bit more credibility. If you're just getting started, people may not know you. There's still a little bit of a cachet around having a book with a major publisher.
Rule number 4, be patient with the result.
You're not in a big enough hurry because you don't view patience and impatience properly. You were trained and conditioned with a perspective that does not serve you. Today, we're gonna break that. We're gonna set you free so you can start hitting your goals a lot faster. Most people are patient with themselves, but impatient with the results. I'll say that again. You're patient with yourself, but you're impatient with the results. You want the results to happen right away. You're impatient. Like, when am I gonna get these results? But you're patient with yourself. You'll give yourself a break. You'll let yourself down. Like, I'll do that tomorrow. You're patient with yourself, but you're impatient with the results. I want you to flip it. This is the perspective shift that if you understand and make in your business, your entire life will change. You need to flip it. You want to be patient with the results and impatient with yourself. You want to be patient with the results and impatient with yourself. Know that the results that you're after will take time. You're chasing down big goals. You're an entrepreneur. You want to do amazing things. It's going to take some time for that to happen. But the impatience you need to put on a daily basis is on yourself. Did you do the most that you can do today and every single day to move a little bit closer to achieving your goals? So look at my business as an example. My next goal is to hit 10 million subscribers on my main YouTube channel. That's a big goal. It's gonna take me a while to get there, right? It's not gonna happen tomorrow. No matter how much work I put in, no matter what I do, it's not happening tomorrow. It's gonna take some time. I get that. I'm patient with that. And I'm insanely impatient with myself. It's like, what can I do more today to get me closer to that goal? How can this video be the best video I've ever made? It may not come out, but it's my intention. You may not get that result every day, but it's my intention. If your intention was to every single day do the most you could do to move closer to your goal, man, you would get there so much faster. The problem is you're too patient with yourself. It's okay. I'll do it January 1st, right? New year. I'm gonna start fresh. January. I'll do it Monday. Start of the week. I can't do it now. It's a Thursday now. I can't do it now. I'll do it Monday. It's start of the week. I'm gonna start. That's the problem. If that's you, then the best thing you can do is right now. Right now. Instantaneously. The rest of today has to be amazing. And same thing for tomorrow. And same thing for tomorrow. Stop letting yourself off the hook. Stop saying it's okay, I'll get to that some other time. This is the problem why you're not accomplishing your goals faster. You're too patient with yourself. And then you're sitting there wondering, why am I not getting results? I've been doing this for 4 years and I haven't gotten results yet. You've been barely doing it. That's the problem. Doing something once a week, doing these starts and stops, you're never gonna hit your goal. It's gonna take you such a long time to get there. So don't be frustrated that it's taking time to get there. Be frustrated with yourself and the lack of effort that you're putting in to attack it. And change your identity. As soon as you start coming with that idea of I'll do that some other time, instantly stomp that out. Crush it. I'm doing that right now. And so I want to hit 10 million subscribers. It's going to take me some time. You might say, wow, you're growing quickly. Awesome. I think I'm growing slowly, right? I want to go faster. I want today to be the best day ever. I need to make this video better. I need to make my thumbnails better. I need to make my team better. I need to make the editing better. It's a constant push every single day to do the most that you possibly can to get closer to accomplishing that goal. I want you to flip it. Be patient with the results. They will come. And impatient with yourself. If you every day woke up and attacked your goal and were insanely impatient with yourself and said, today has to matter, today has to count, today I'm gonna do something to move way closer to my goal than I ever thought possible, I'm gonna demand more of myself today. If you did that every day, holy cow, those goals are gonna pour in for you, and I'm cheering you on. So let's go super tactical for a minute. I want you to think about one thing that you've been putting off, one thing that you know you need to do, one thing that you know would move you a little bit closer to your goal, one thing you've been putting off. What's coming to mind right now? One thing that you have been putting off to say, I will get to that later. I will tackle that on Monday. And show yourself what you're made of. Make yourself proud today. The problem is we're not proud enough of our own effort. We're not proud of ourselves. It's not about proving it to anybody else. It's not about proving it to me or your parents or your family or anybody else. It's proving it to yourself. Being proud of yourself. And so my challenge for you today is, I want to go tactical. I want you to think about one thing that you have been delaying, that you've been putting off. I want you to tell me what that thing is in a comment below. And as soon as you press enter or send or whatever you press on YouTube to submit a comment, and then go do that thing. Or at least take a micro action on it to start building momentum and to start shifting your identity as you are somebody who is impatient with yourself. You're going to demand results from yourself on a daily basis.
Rule number 5, focus.
Your chances of success go up in direct proportion to your ability to 1, pick the right things to work on, and then 2, focus on executing those things. It's so easy as an entrepreneur to get distracted. We love shiny objects, right? We love dreaming up new ideas and chasing these different projects. But if you look at a typical entrepreneur, you'll see that so many of their projects start and stop and start and stop, and you take something 10% through or 50% through or sometimes even like 80% through, but unless you're willing to take it to 100, you're not gonna get the results. You're not gonna get the fruit of your labor because you're just planting a whole bunch of seeds constantly, but you're never taking care of that seed. You're never watering it, right? If you wanna grow a plant, you gotta plant the seed, you gotta care for the soil, you gotta add nutrients, you gotta water it daily, it's gotta have enough sunshine. You gotta look after that seed, where most entrepreneurs, they don't. They're starting and stopping, and you never actually get to where you wanna go. People talk about diversification. You need to diversify, you need to diversify. And while that's really great as an investment strategy, if you don't know what you're investing into, it's good to have a big portfolio of different things so that if one thing doesn't do well, something else is doing well. But it really sucks as business advice. Because if you're trying to do 10 different things at once, they're all gonna be mediocre. They're all gonna be below average because you're going up against people who are doing that full time and have their focus on it. And so it's much better as an entrepreneur to 1, pick the things that you wanna focus on, right? And then 2, actually focus on it. Do that work. Andrew Carnegie was once the richest person in the world, and he had a great quote saying how he likes to put all of his eggs in one basket, and then you watch that basket carefully, right? It's only a major risk if you're not watching the basket. If you take your eye off the ball, you start looking elsewhere, and then something happens to your industry, right? And so being the expert, being the best at what you do will always yield more results, more value, more money to you than being okay at 20 different things. Be the best at one thing. Focus. And I know that's tough because there's so many different opportunities, there's so many different ideas that we come across. As an example, when I got the chance to work with Lily, and I took her under my wing, and now she's working for me as we start to build up her business as being a public speaker, Lily takes up my Wednesdays. And Wednesday was supposed to be write my 3rd book day. And the third book is something I'm really passionate about, really excited about. It's going to be about how to change your environment, how to create an environment for success, from your morning routines to your habits, to your rituals, to your friends, to the physical environment. I'm really passionate about writing that book, and I need to do a lot of research to be able to complete it. But I can't do Lily and the book at the same time. I had that one day open per week because the other days are full, at least for now. And I had to decide, book or Lily? And I picked Lily. And so the book is on the back burner. I haven't touched that in months. And I could try to do both, but they would both be mediocre. And I want to see Lily have massive success. And maybe when I could build her up to the point where she's more free to do her own thing and doesn't need as much of my time, I can go back and do the book. I had a guy write to me talking about my Facebook strategy and said, hey, if you do Facebook better, if you change the pictures to look like this, and if you do more live streams, and give me all sorts of suggestions. And they're great suggestions. This is the challenge. Like, these are great ideas, but I can't focus on doing that and doing what I'm currently doing at the same time. And so you have to prioritize. Focusing means saying no. You're gonna have tons of opportunities come to you, tons of ideas that flow through your head that could all be fantastic ideas, but you cannot do all of them right now. So you need to prioritize, pick the right things to work on, and then put your blinders on, focus, and just go out and execute. You need to be in execution mode. You gotta get that thing done. And it's great to dream, and it's great to have the big vision and the big picture and lots of opportunities. But until you start acting, until you start doing, none of the stuff is gonna happen.
Rule number 6, the last one before our very special bonus clip, enjoy the process.
If I had to give advice to somebody to have success in any field, not just entrepreneurship, in any field, you look at the people who have the most success in any field, they enjoy the process. And too many people are attached just to the outcome. If you want to make a blockbuster hit, if you want to make a successful movie, you have to enjoy the process of making movies. As an entrepreneur, if you want to have a successful product, you want to have a great service that's making a lot of money, you want to have a huge business, whatever you define as huge or successful, then you need to enjoy the process of the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And not everything is going to be amazing. You're going to have down days, but net, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to wake up and look forward to the day that is ahead. And too many entrepreneurs are spending 80 to 90% of their time doing stuff that they're not good at, that they don't want to be good at, that they hate because they feel they need to do it to grow their business. And only 10 to 20% of their time on the stuff that they can be genius level at. And you will not have success in any endeavor if you're only spending 10 to 20% of your time or less on the stuff that you have the potential to be the best in the world at and that you enjoy. If your goal is just to make a lot of money and you'll do whatever it takes just to make that amount of money, you'll never get there because you don't enjoy the work. Where the secret to success is enjoying the day-to-day grind because it doesn't feel like a grind, it feels enjoyable. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's what the science says. And that is not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to do better. When you actually get motivated and then create a specific plan of action for what you're gonna do this week, you have a 91% chance of following through. And when you publicly commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment below on this video, it jumps even higher. So I want that for you. I wanna know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week so I can celebrate with you.
Most people focus on the problem instead of the solution, and that is why they fail. I like to say that there are a million reasons why your ideas will never work out and only 8 why they will. Either way, you're right. So it's better to focus on the 8. Your heroes, the people that you look up to, the people that you love and want to be like, right? Your heroes all succeeded with less than what you currently have right now. If they can all do it, so can you. The only thing in your way are your excuses. So one of the things that I love most about both my wife and my team is that they're always willing to find the way. one of the things that Nina loves most about herself, I had her fill out this form maybe 2 years ago of like, what do you love most about yourself? And at the top was, she's a fast learner. She loves learning new things. She loves taking on new challenges. And I love that. I love that about her. And I love that in people. I think you should be a fast learner. I think you should love learning. I think you should always be taking on new opportunities. Right now on my YouTube channel, I've split up my channel into 8 or 9 different channels, and then just recently I split them up again, where we launched a top 10 channel just for the top 10 videos. So the top 10 videos aren't on my main channel anymore, and then we're doing an everything channel, where if you just want all the content, it's all on one spot. So it's chaos, it's crazy. My whole team has to be restructured, and everybody's taking on new projects and responsibilities, and we were supposed to have a 1-month transition phase to do it. That was the recommendation. That was the aggressive recommendation, is to have a 1-month transition period. And for me, 1 month just is death. It's just death. I mean, I said, oh, okay, great, 1 month. But then as I'm into it, on the Tuesday of like the first week, like, guys, we need to launch like this weekend. We need to launch this weekend. Let's go, right? And there's so many reasons why it's not going to work, and there's so many problems, and yes, we're going to make so many mistakes, and people aren't trained properly, and there's more work, and we need to, we figure out who wants to do what and how. So many issues. Awesome. Let's go. I think about Ray, for example, on my team, who has been doing all these thumbnails. So I have a set design for my top 10 rules thumbnails that people love, and it's been going like that for years. And I've always been on my team to say, I don't care that everybody thinks our thumbnails are great. They can be better. How do we make them better? And so finally, after years of testing, we finally found the format that would win, that would beat our original thumbnails. And there's minor differences. We zoom in on the face, we got rid of the second logo, we make the text bigger, minor differences. And then Ray's been going back and updating split tests, doing against our old videos. And we have 1,400 different split tests on our videos. It's crazy. I think I split test more than anybody on YouTube. So he's going back and updating all the old thumbnails and trying to prove a winner each time. And he's maybe, I don't know, halfway through. Think about it, how many videos we have on the channel. We've got 6,000 videos. A lot of them are top 10s. Now with this change, I found a new format. We found a new format, a new thumbnail, different color scheme, different text, different pictures, different logo, new thumbnail format, and we found that it's working. And so I said, Ray, I know you just changed all the thumbnails. We gotta do it again. He's like, this is so exciting, let's go. Like, I love this guy so much, right? Where most people, what are they're gonna complain. They're gonna say, I just did all this work on this other thing, right? You don't want to be around people like that, and you definitely don't want to be that. For too many people, the problem is, for so many people, that's you. That's not even people around you, that's you. You're thinking about all the sunk costs that you put into something. You're thinking about, I invested so much into this thing, and now you want me to shift everything? Yep. You need to be on the yep side now. You need to adopt that kind of mindset, that kind of personality. That just because I worked before, it doesn't mean it's gonna keep working. You find something new, it's better. Let's go. This is what the whole game is about. So how do you do it? How do you be more resourceful? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is focus on the 8. So I said at the beginning, there are a million reasons why it's not gonna work out. And if you talk to your friends and family and social media, they'll find a million more reasons why it's not gonna work out. Great, there's a million reasons why it's not gonna work out. Now there's 2 million, and there's 8 while it will. Only focus on the 8. Focus on the 8. Be rigid, be disciplined. Stop thinking about, those negative things are still there. Awesome. Those reasons, sure, are awesome. Great. I'm only focused on the 8. I don't care about all the reasons why it's not gonna work out. That's where most of the world lives. That's the land of negativity. I'm here, and it's a small lane. It's easier. There's only 8 reasons why I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna pick those 8 and focus on that. That's it, choose. It's a choice. You're right either way, right? You are right. If you say, I'm not gonna win because I don't have the education and the resources and the money and the parents, and you're right. You've already decided, you're right. Yes, absolutely, you're right. But people with less resources, less connections, less ideas, less talent, less skills than you, they've done it. You're just full of excuses. If you want to believe the excuses, then you have already lost. If you want to buy into the 8 reasons why you're going to win and surround yourself with your heroes who have done it, and that's a daily source of inspiration for you to keep going off and doing it, then you will win. Focus on the 8, not the million. Number 2 is model success. This is what really helped me. I mean, now I have all these channels, and we're modeling success all day long, and I've built an entire business around this, but this is the thing that saved my business from the first start, right? Like Bill Gates how he built Microsoft saved my company, right? Learning from his story made me finally start to have some success in my business. And then from there, every morning I would read a little bit about a successful entrepreneur. Now I'd much rather watch a video than read, but hack your own learning style. Maybe you prefer to listen to podcasts. I listen to 0 podcasts because I'm not an auditory learner. Learning how to model success, finding people who've done the thing that you want to do does 2 things. One, it gives you hope. Seeing what they came from. Like, go look at Oprah's story. Seeing what she came from. And then for you to say that you have less resources, less available to you than Oprah did at the time that she was growing up is ludicrous, is crazy. You're way more equipped just because you have the internet than Oprah ever did when she was getting started. But maybe you hate Oprah. Awesome, great. Who do you want to learn from? Jeff Bezos, awesome. Go look at his story. Look at the people who you look up to, your heroes. Study them. Not how they make an extra $1 million now, but 0 to 1. How did they get started? What did they have to go through? Learn from them. Study them. And it gives you inspiration to know that it's possible, and it gives you strategies. Because chances are what worked for them could also work for you. It won't work for you 100%. It's like trying on this cowboy hat that's just a little bit too oversized. And you gotta tweak it and take in some of the sides, maybe add a little bit more stitching somewhere so that it fits. But modeling success takes you 80% of the way. You don't have to come up with all the genius ideas yourself. The model's been proven. Go out, copy it, apply it to yourself, and start winning. And step number 3 is tell yourself this is just a warm-up. I love this strategy. I think this is one of the greatest things you can ever do for your self-confidence, self-love, self-respect, is whenever it's difficult, whenever it's hard, whenever you're at your breaking point, whenever you're like, oh, I don't know if I can keep going, you tell yourself, this is just the warm-up. This is just a warm-up. I'm capable of way more than this. And what it does is it actually tricks your brain a little bit to believe in it. And now you've just broken through a comfort zone. Now you've broken through to another level of excellence. You've just raised your standards a little bit higher. It's extremely powerful. So let's think about it. If that thing that is all consuming, all encompassing, is all you're capable of doing right now, that's a problem. That means you're never gonna grow beyond this thing, right? You're never gonna scale and become something bigger because this is the max that you're capable of doing. And I remember talking to Alex, who helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa, and what he was stressing out about. And we have big ambitions for this business. We have big ambitions for where Toronto Dance Salsa needs to be, and Alex needs to be the guy to lead it. If this little thing that feels all encompassing, right? But if this little thing owns you, you're never gonna get here. So tell yourself, this is just a warm-up. I'm capable of way more than this. Way more than this is the beginning. This is baby steps. I'm way stronger than this. Tell yourself that. Say it out loud. Tell yourself, this is just a warm-up. Like that. Put your hand down. It's just a warm-up. Say that 3 times and see how you feel. And then get to work, because you know what? It is just a warm-up and you're capable of way more. Let's go. You will never lose in life if you have valuable skills. You won't lose your house. You won't lose your car. You won't lose your clients if you have a skill that brings people value. The economy can collapse. The algorithms can change. But as long as you have a skill that solves problems for people, you will be safe. So I'm seeing this a lot in the YouTube world now. I have a new course out helping people get to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. We can link up the description there if you want in. And people are saying, well, should I still do YouTube? Is it too late? Like YouTube won't be here in 5 years or 10 years, or maybe it's gonna be the next thing that I should hop on. It's not about the platform. Like right now, it's winning the platform that is currently winning. You need to crush it, right? Like YouTube should be your home. If you're trying to make an impact, you're trying to be a thought leader, you have a message to spread, YouTube has to be your #1 place. It just has to be right now. Otherwise, you're not making a smart decision. But whether YouTube is still around in 20 years, 5 years, doesn't matter. Because the skill set that you learn, you can take anywhere. The ability to communicate, you could take to any platform. You could take to the next thing. I don't anticipate YouTube still being around in 20 years, but my ability to make videos, talk into a lens, that's not gonna go away. That can serve me for life, right? Whether that's VR Evan or hologram Evan, coming into your living room, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be amazing. I'm pumped, I look forward to it. Any algorithm change that people are freaking out about, anybody who's complaining about the economy going down or the algorithm changing, you've already lost. That's a losing mindset. When I was first starting my YouTube channel, I always saw the algorithm as a chance to win, right? You should see, if you're a small creator on any platform, YouTube, Instagram, anything, and the algorithm shifts, that's your greatest advantage. you should be cheering. You should want more algorithm changes. If you look at a traditional, established, boring market, it's hard to win. Real estate could be hard to win, right? Financial markets can be hard to win. It's not that it's not possible, it's just hard to win because there's a lot of people who have decades of experience and know more than you, and it's hard to close that gap of experience. With social media, with YouTube, every time there's a big algorithm change, the people who are experts at the last thing, they're crying instead of adjusting. That's how you win. That's how you get ahead of them. That's how you become the top dog, is because you're gonna go learn the new algorithm when everybody is wishing and hoping that the old algorithm comes back. And this happens for every platform. It happened for Facebook. Every time they changed your algorithm or updated the feed and what was shown there, people always freak out and complain, and they want petitions and like, let's go back to how it used to be. Don't sign those petitions. Don't jump on that bandwagon. That is loser thinking. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. It's loser thinking, and that's how most people think. That's a mindset shift that I want to make for the collective, but more importantly for you. That whenever there's a big change, embrace it. Go all in on it. Learn it. That's how you're going to leapfrog everybody else. So the faster the rate of change, the more you should be cheering. I still get pumped for an algorithm change. Me. I mean, now I'm closer to the top, right? I mean, I don't know what the top is. I got 2 million subscribers and 300 million views and all these channels. I still love it. Anytime an algorithm change comes out, I'm still pumped. Train yourself. Like a change is coming, I'm pumped. Get excited. Because there's still people who are ahead of me, or even the people below me that I'm competing with for attention and for space. If they're sitting there complaining about how it's changed and they're dropping in their views, awesome. I'll pick up those views because I'm going to learn what the new algorithm is all about. Same thing with the economy. When the economy crashes, everybody who's complaining about how it used to be, they're not going to win. It's comforting to join a club and wish things to be how they used to be, but we're not going back to that. So the faster you realize that and make improvements, the faster you can learn and actually build a great business. Some of the greatest businesses in the world were built in recession, in depression. That could be you if you decide to be. Let's hop back to skills for a second. I look at Jake Paul, Logan Paul. They started on Vine, right? Vine was their claim to fame. They had tons of success in making these super short videos. Vine gets shut down, right? Boom, gone. This is don't put all your eggs in one basket. I think that's loser thinking too. It's loser thinking. They went all in on Vine, and then Vine got shut down. Oh no. What did they do? They moved to YouTube and started crushing it. Millions of subscribers. Look at their growth on YouTube over the past, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. Blew up. Why? They didn't just come out of nowhere. They had the skill set. They had the skill set that they learned from doing the thing, right? The skill set to make a good video, they then brought to a new platform. If YouTube goes away, you're learning the skill set of how to communicate, how to make great videos, that whatever comes next. People are freaking out about the FTC coming in and COPPA on YouTube. Okay, so if kids aren't able to get content on YouTube, where are they gonna go? Go be there. Instead of trying to fight what is already happening, go be at the place where the kids are gonna be. Embrace the change. That's where you can win. When everybody else is fighting and angry and screaming and yelling and complaining and wishing that it used to be, or quitting the platform and getting upset, go be where they're gonna be. It's easy, it's a simple win. Most people don't have that mindset. It's why most people lose. It's why most businesses can't evolve. Most businesses shut down. It's people very rarely transition from one platform to another, from one business to another, even though they have the skill sets and capabilities to do so, because they don't have the mindset to do so. People who crushed MySpace, very few of them are still around on different platforms. Look at Hollywood. The Rock is doing it. Will Smith is doing it, moving from Hollywood films to YouTube. Where's Brad Pitt? Where's George Clooney? Like, they're in a dying industry. They should be embracing YouTube. They don't want to. They have the skills. They have the skills. It's transferable. You don't think George Clooney could come in and crush YouTube if he wanted to? Of course he could. Calling you out, George Clooney. Let's go. Make it happen. Right? It's just about picking up the skill set. That will keep you safe in any environment. But it's also having a mindset to follow through and try the new things instead of complaining about the changes that are currently happening. So how can you do it? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step 1 is make sure your actions map to your ambitions. This will help you determine what skill set you need. What are your ambitions? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want out of life? There's so many ways to win. You know, if you've gone through the who, why, how process, you know what your purpose is, you know what you're trying to accomplish, you've read Built to Serve. Well, you can't read it yet, it's still in pre-order, but you understand the concept, you figure out your purpose, great. To actually go off and accomplish it, what are the skill sets that you actually need? What are the skill sets you need to develop? Even if you suck at it, if you're not naturally good at it. I'm introverted. I'm not naturally good in front of the camera. It took me 6,000 videos to get here. right? I got better with practice and repetition and dedication and hard work and all of that. You can too. What are the skill sets that you need to acquire to get the life that you want? And then you can start working on them. So first step is figure out how do you map your actions to your ambitions. Second step is to learn to tell yourself that it's the best. It's the best. It's the best. Every time something negative is happening to you, the economy is crashing, an algorithm is changing, a new competitor comes in, something negative is happening, you tell yourself it's the best. This is the best. This is my chance to prove to myself and the world what I'm made of. When an algorithm changes and you say it's the best, you're gonna find a new solution. If you sit there and complain and get negative and toxic, you're not going to find a new solution. The best part of saying it's the best is it shifts your mindset from one of complaining and lack of resourcefulness to one of ultimate resources. To be able to say, I'm going to go solve this thing. Let's go. It shifts your mindset. So many people get stuck in the negativity. Even if you're an entrepreneur and you're positive and optimistic and have great hopes for the future and where you want to go, if you spend all this time and energy building up this thing and then it gets taken away from you, it's really hard to say this is the best, but that's what you need to do, because otherwise you spend the rest of your life living off of past glory to say, well, this is what I used to be and it was all taken away from me and now life sucks. Like, you want the next 40 years of your life to be thinking like that? No, it's the best. The economy crashes, it's the best. You're gonna crush it. Algorithm changes, it's the best. You're gonna crush it. New competitor comes in, it's the best. You're gonna crush it, right? You grow through difficult times. You get better through difficult times. You don't want to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's boring. That's photocopying your life. That's not what you want. You want to grow. You want to progress. Self-confidence, self-love, all of it comes from doing difficult things. By telling yourself that when that difficult thing comes, it's the best. This is my chance to rise up and show myself and the world what I'm capable of, as opposed to saying, this sucks, and sit in negativity all day, all week, all month, all year, all decade. And step number 3 is understand that the quantity leads to the quality. We figured out what our skill is that we want to get good at, right? We understand that it's the best, that when other people are complaining, we're going to rise up and improve our skills and get better at the thing, because that's how we're going to win. And now number 3 is the practice, the daily grind, the constant improvement. I've done 6,000 videos. Is how I got better at this. The thing that you want to get great at, you have to do a lot of. You're going to suck at the beginning. You're not going to have any quality. That's okay. That's great. It's the best. Right? But then through repetition, through practice, through daily hustle, attacking the thing that you love doing, even though other people see it as work and torture, you love it. You're getting better at it. That's how you're going to improve your skills. Every skill set is possible to acquire. It's just a skill. Doesn't mean you suck as a human. It just means you don't have the skill set yet. How do you get the skill set? By practicing. The quantity leads to the quality. And so back to point number 1 of your actions mapped to your ambitions. How much are you practicing? You want to acquire the skill set. How much time are you actually spending on that skill set? You want to be a great editor, great. How much time are you spending editing? You want to be a great piano player, how much time are you spending piano? Right? You might have some natural ability for it, awesome. And if you don't, I had no natural ability to be good in front of the camera. Go back and watch my first videos, you'll see. You'll see how much I sucked. No natural ability, 0. It took a long time. Practice, dedication, hard work, right? Actions mapped to your ambitions by putting the quantity that leads to the quality. How much are you doing? Show me your calendar. Show yourself your calendar. Pull up your calendar. Look at your next week. Look at your next month. That skill that you want to acquire that's going to save you from the recession, from the algorithm change, that's going to bring people value, that skill that you need to acquire, it's going to pay you. How much time are you spending developing it? And if it's not a lot, if it's not sometime every day, you got to change your mindset. You got to change your calendar. You need to change your actions. Because right now, if that's you, your actions are not mapping to your ambitions. I want you to win. You need to get the skill sets. That's the path. The difference in people is their standards. The world is full of people who started with less than what you already have right now, and they're winning. And too many people are out there complaining. Complaining that you don't have the money, that you don't have the time, that you don't have the experience, that you don't have the personality for it. All legitimate, logical reasons. But others have done it with those very same circumstances as you, with worse circumstances than you. The difference is they have a higher standard for themselves. And today, we're gonna raise yours. One of the things I'm most proud about for myself, why do I love Evan Carmichael, is because when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it, especially when it gets hard. Like, it doesn't count until it gets hard. And I'm doing it not just for other people. I'm doing it not just because I promised you that I would show up. I'm doing it for myself because I said I was gonna do something and then I go off and do it. This is the foundation of self-esteem, of self-confidence, of self-love, doing it when you say you're gonna do it. And so on Monday, I usually have a 2-hour walking meeting with Alex. Alex helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. He comes over, Monday's my mentoring day, and we'll usually go for a 2-hour walk around the city. And it's starting to get cold. You know, it's winter time here, it's getting cold. And so we bundle up and we go for our 2-hour walk while we talk and while we meet. I'm trying to do walking meetings more, just for my own health and just for the challenge of it, because it's easy to start something like that in the spring or in the summer. It's really hard to do it when it's in the winter and you live in Toronto, Canada, and it's snowing and cold, right? So this Monday, Alex was sick. He still came in, he was sick, he was running a bit of a fever, not crazy sick, but just sick. And Nina, my wife, super caring, said, hey, maybe you shouldn't go for a walk outside. And my heart's just like, come on, no, we have to. I said I was gonna do it, right? I have to, for myself, I have to go on the walk. Like, I'll go on the walk and leave Alex at my place and and just film the meeting with him. But we came up with a different solution, which was, I live in a condo, we have a gym in my condo, and we went down to the condo gym and I walked on the treadmill while he stood or sat next to me for 2 hours. Because I said that I was gonna do it. How important is that 1-2 hour walk? Not much, right? In itself, not much. Am I gonna get healthy from doing that one walk? No. Am I gonna lose weight by doing that one walk? No. I'm gonna have so much more mental clarity by doing that one walk? Of course not. But it's the whole game, because you're teaching yourself that you follow through. You're teaching yourself that you have high standards. You're teaching yourself that when you say you're gonna do something, you follow through, because life is coming for you with a ton of roadblocks. Life is gonna throw tons of curveballs at you. If you can only do the thing that you said you were gonna do when it's easy and the path is perfectly clear, you're never gonna do it. This is why people don't stay consistent, because as soon as life gets hard, you let yourself off the hook. You allow your standards to drop, to say, oh, it's okay. Yeah, of course I can't go for a walk because Alex is sick, right? And there are definitely legitimate times when you should let yourself off the hook. If I was dying in bed with a fever and I couldn't get out of bed, I wouldn't go for the walk. That makes sense. Don't be stupid. There's times when you need to be gentle on yourself. But more often than not, we are too gentle on ourselves when we shouldn't be. I could have done the walk, and we did it. We did it in the gym downstairs, and Alex stood next to me and sat next to me and didn't have to go outside and get the cold on him, and I still got my walk in, right? And I feel great about it, because I did it when it was hard, because here's this obstacle that life's throwing at me. Here's an easy way when everybody around me is saying, you don't have to go off and do it. And a little tiny voice inside my own head saying, okay, well, here's a chance. You don't have to do it. Like, no, be quiet, voice. I'm doing it. We're finding a solution. Let's go. And the solution is gonna walk on the treadmill downstairs. So how can you start raising your standards for yourself? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is building credibility with yourself. This is so important. This is the starting point. This is the foundation. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. It starts with getting up in the morning. Most people, the first thing they do is they hit the alarm clock, right? You snooze. That's the very first thing. And I think that's a mental trap. I think every time you hit the snooze button, you're starting your day telling yourself that you suck. The very last thing you did last night was say, I'm gonna wake up at whatever clock in the morning tomorrow. And the very first thing you do in the morning is say, I'm not gonna hit my goal, right? That is not what you wanna train yourself to do. That is teaching yourself from the very first second that you will wake up, right? The second you wake up, you're telling yourself, I suck, I'm not gonna hit my goal. Stop doing that. When you say you're gonna do something, you do it. You do it. You do it. Even if it's a small version of it, you still do it. If you said you're gonna do push-ups every day and you feel really sick, do 2 push-ups just to show yourself that you do it. You have to set goals and then follow through. So be very careful, very intentional about the goals that you set for yourself. And then once you do, you have to follow through. You have to put your best effort on accomplishing that goal for the day, because that's where your self-love comes from. Your self-love comes from doing difficult things. It comes from setting goals, and then once it gets difficult, you still following through. That's how you build credibility with yourself, because the challenge is, if you snooze, if you let yourself off the hook, if you don't go for the walk, if you don't do the thing as soon as it gets a little tiny bit hard, the next time you set a goal, you're gonna get excited and say, I'm gonna do this goal. This is my next goal. I'm pumped up. And then the next day you're gonna say, I'm not gonna do that, because you don't do any of your goals. because you've taught yourself that you set goals and don't follow through. This is the starting point. Set fewer goals. And once you set them, you have to follow through. Number 2 is remember your big why and little why. This is what helps keep you on track. Your big why is your big vision for what you're trying to accomplish, the big mission that you're on. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I want people to believe in themselves more, right? It's what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And sometimes that's motivating and inspiring and amazing and gets me going and wants me to raise my standards to get there. And sometimes it seems too big. And so the little why is, I don't know how I can help 1 billion people, but I help 1 person, I help 2 people. I can go to my comments and see that I help some people and they're leaving me feedback. You guys, you beautiful people, leave me feedback on my videos, right? And remembering that the work that you do is important. If you felt every day that you woke up and you were doing work that was important, you're built to serve, right? It was meaningful to people. It was helping people. The work that you did matters. It would force you to raise your standards. And you do that by remembering your big why, the mission you're trying to take on, and the little why of feeling like I helped 1 person. And sometimes that big why is amazing and that's all you need. But when that feels like it's too big, go back to the little why and remember that you helped at least 1 person. You made a difference in their lives, and you can do it again today when you raise your standards. And step number 3 is have an environment of excellence. The environment that you create for yourself really matters because you set it up once, right? This office that I'm in, this is my office, right? I walk in here every day is what I look at. This might be really inspiring to you or it may mean nothing to you, right? All these pictures, they mean something to me. My Doritos bag that is not here anymore because I have my new book, Built to Serve. Pre-order your copy. Links in the description. Go get it. My Doritos bag that was here. But even this book, I'm proud of this book, right? The awards that I have down here. Everything that's in my office was designed. Even the clothes that I'm wearing and the things that's on my desktop background and my cell phone background, right? It's designed with intention. The beauty of having something like this is you set it up once. I printed these pictures off once, I put them up on my wall, and every day I walk in, I've got Steve Jobs staring me down and Ipa Giannini staring me down, and my parents looking at me as soon as I walk in the door, and Howard Schultz and Kanye West, they're looking at me. They're inspiring me on a daily basis. I pull up my phone and I look at that message on my phone and my desktop, all of it, right? Design your environment. Ask yourself, what's in your environment, is it allowing you to be excellent? Is it pulling you up to a higher standard? And if it's yes, amazing, keep doing it. If it's no, then fix it. Fix it. Even putting this on every day makes me feel like a superhero. That may sound silly, ridiculous, crazy to you. Awesome, go do you, right? For me, it's what I like to do. This is what gets me feeling amazing. So whatever it is that pulls you up to a higher standard, that's in your environment, that you're doing daily, that you're probably just mailing in and just running through the routine of, right? Change it. Ask yourself, what does an excellent environment look like for you? What do you need to have on your body, in your environment, on your walls, on your backgrounds, right? Your screens. What do you need to have there that when you see it, it's going to remind you of who you are and who you want to be and the person that needs to grow to accomplish the goals that you have for yourself. Create an environment of excellence. Doing what you are afraid of is your path to success. Every time you take on something new that scares you, that pushes your comfort zone, that requires you to stretch, on the other side of that scary thing is the new you who is now capable of more. Most people, they shrink from scary things because they're scary. But if you want to win, if you want to hit your ambitious goals, then you have to teach yourself that you do scary things. So I recently came back from 2 pretty significant speaking gigs in my career as I'm building up and speaking on bigger stages. The first was when I was speaking at Brendan Burchard's event, and it's his Growth.com event. And Brendan, one of the greatest speakers in the world, invited me to come and talk to his group of a couple thousand people. And then I went to Ed Milet's event just recently in Whistler. And this is a smaller group, 100 so people, but they pay $60,000 a year to be a part of his program. And so they're coming to learn from the best. He sandwiched me between David Goggins and Peyton Manning. So it's David Goggins, and then me, and then Peyton Manning. That was the lineup. And so when I was backstage at the Brendan event, I remember moments before going on stage, I was the most scared that I'd been in a long time. The most nervous, the most anxious. I was afraid of disappointing people. My biggest fear is letting people down. My biggest fear is that I'm going to let Brendan down and Dean Graziosi, who they both brought me there. And I was just going to suck on stage. That was my biggest fear. And so I had a mini panic attack backstage. 5 minutes before going up, I have this mini panic attack and I'm forgetting what I'm going to say. I imagine myself going on stage and just blanking out. And I tell myself, I'm Evan Carmichael. I do difficult things. I love difficult things. If I don't do difficult things, I'm never going to accomplish great things. So I have to do difficult things. I love it. I thrive on difficult things. And then I remembered what I was going to say. And then I went out and I did my thing. And now when I went to Ed's event, I wasn't as nervous. I wasn't as afraid. I was still scared. I was still afraid of letting down Ed Milet, letting down Andy Frisella, who they both brought me there, being between David Goggins and Peyton Manning and just being outshone. Everybody knows them. They may not know me. All of it, all of the fears and doubts, but less than what I had at Brendan's event. Not because it wasn't as big a deal, but because I had just done it. Because speaking on stage to a couple thousand people at Brendan's event and having that panic attack and getting through it changed who I was, made me stronger, made me more capable of doing the next thing. And the next thing was Ed's thing. And so if I hadn't gone to Brendan's, I would be terrified going to Ed's thing. So every time you take on these difficult challenges, you might have the panic attack. You might have the anxiety inside you. You might have that little voice to say, you can't do it. What if you fail? What if you disappoint people? What if you lose respect? What if it doesn't work out? But you know what's worse? You know what's worse than going up and failing? Not trying. Not doing it. Finding some reason, finding some excuse to say you're sick, you're busy, you can't make it. But in the back of your head, you know you were just afraid. And the last thing you want to do is teach yourself that when you are afraid, that when you have an opportunity in front of you and you're afraid to do it, that you say no. You don't want to teach yourself that. You teach yourself the opposite. That when you're afraid, that when there's something in front of you that you want to do, but you're scared, you're anxious, you're worried about letting people down, that you jump in and you say, I'm all in because I do scary things. So how do you do it? I'm going to give you a 3-step process I think will help. Step number 1 is ask yourself, if you could not fail. If you could not fail, what would you do? If you could not fail, what would you do? What would you do? Just blue sky. You know you're not going to fail. What would you do? For me, I'd be speaking on bigger stages. I'd be speaking more often, be speaking on bigger stages. And that's now become, even asking that question sets into motion action, right? Now my goal is to speak on 2 stages a month. And so traveling to speak on 2 different stages every month and putting that plan into action for the next 6 to 12 months, right? If you knew that you could not fail, what would you do? Eliminate the risk of failure, right? Eliminate, because that's how we'll default back to. Like, oh, I'd love to do that, but right? But I might fail, but this is gonna happen. Then you get back into negative small thinking mode. Just for 2 minutes, forget about that stuff. For 2 minutes, let yourself dream again. And imagine, if you could not fail, what would you do? Step number 2, expect to fail. Expect to fail. Expect to suck, especially if it's your first time. If it's your first time speaking on stage, for example, you're not going to be great. You're not going to be Les Brown. You're not going to be Tony Robbins. You're not going to be Brendan Burchard. You're not going to be great. It's your first time. Your first video, you're not going to be great. It's why I kept my first video up on my channel too. You can go back and watch it. The first time you do it, you're not going to be great. This is one of the biggest fallacies in human thinking is we expect to be great the first time we do something, and if we're not great, we don't do it anymore. As kids, we learn that when we fail, we get up and we try again. As adults, though, we're so terrified of failing that we don't try most things. And then we have this constant thought in our mind that we know we're capable of more, but we're too afraid to go off and start. And so expect to fail. Step 1 is know that you're not going to fail. Great. That gives you the freedom to dream, to do the thing that you actually want to do and not get in your own way anymore with your thinking. But step 2 is then you expect to fail. Micro, not macro, right? If you keep going, if you keep doing it, you keep making videos, you keep doing your speeches, you keep reaching out, you're going to win. But the first time, expect to fail. Reduce the expectation that your first time of anything has to be amazing. And then step 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort. So many people tie their self-worth to the result instead of the effort, right? Did I give a good result? Did I give a good speech? Did I give a good video? Did I get a result for my customer, right? Did it work? Did I win that race? Did I XYZ, right? You're tying your self-worth to the result. What you want to do is tie it to the effort. So that even if you go up on stage and suck, you tell yourself, I'm the best. I did it. When I look back at my Brendan video, at his event, I could have done better. I can always do better. I look at it, and even though people loved it and standing ovation at the end, and Brendan was freaking out and he loved it, I look at it and see all the holes, all the places where I could have been stronger, could have had more energy, could have been better. And if I was doing that speech in a smaller group, it would have been better. If I was doing that speech just to a camera with nobody in the room, it would have been way better because I would have been able to practice it over and over and over again until it was perfect. But I'm really proud of the effort. I was 5 minutes ago, before going on stage, freaking out, having an anxiety attack, forgetting everything I was gonna say in front of this massive audience. And I went out and I did it. And so I'm proud of my effort. That's what I want for you too. You have some big ambition. You let go of the fear of failing. You then expect to fail. You expect to suck at the beginning, and you tie your self-worth and you pat yourself on the back, even if you failed, even if you stumbled, even if it sucked. And you say, I did it. I tried my best. Because every day you woke up and you tried your best, I promise you, you're gonna get amazing results.
If you want to find your purpose and passion in your life, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
You need to be your biggest critic as well as your biggest fan. People are usually their biggest critics. You point out all the flaws. You tell yourself all the reasons why you suck.